Guys, I am so excited. It has been so long since I've redone my top 5 linear gas fireplace video. That is a really popular video. It's one of our most popular categories of gas fireplaces that we sell, and it has been years since we've redone it. So you can see over here, we're gonna see some familiar faces, but we're gonna see a lot of new faces. We got a lot of new, cool stuff that we're gonna show you. And it's the middle of summer and I got like 80 fireplaces on. So we gotta make this video quick because I'm getting hot. Let's go. Guys, don't forget, if you're in the Denver, Colorado area, come to our showroom in Westminster, Colorado, where you can shop in person for all these fireplaces. If you're not in the Denver, Colorado area, call us anyways. We can still help you. If you appreciate the content that we provide for you, give us a shot at the business. I can't tell you how many times we educate and teach people the fireplace that they need, only to buy it somewhere else, which is a huge bummer for us. So if you want us to keep making awesome videos like this, help support us. It's a little shameless plug I gotta do. Okay, so sometimes in the top 5, I'll include an honorable mention. This year is no different. So this is the Valor L3. And the last time I did this video, this made the top 5. So it got bumped out of the top 5 because better contenders have come along, and we've actually seen some good innovation in the linear fireplace market, which has bumped this guy. But the reason I wanted to put it in as honorable mention is I would say the Valor L series, so they have the L1, L2, this is the L3. They probably make the best gas fireplace for tricky installations. So what do I mean by that? Like, even though this is a 60-some inch fireplace, it has really, really tight framing clearances, and it fits into very tight places for how big it is. Probably the tightest framing clearances we have. It also vents the easiest, so we can rear vent it if we need to. It uses a smaller vent pipe. So this is probably the best unit if you have a tricky installation and need help squeezing something in and maximizing your space. The Valor is probably the best option for you. All right, should we get to option number 5? All right, so coming in at number 5, So this 5th option is gonna be, I would say, the best linear fireplace if you're on a budget. So this is the new Napoleon 56-inch Ascent series. It's called the Premium Ascent. So you still can get the Ascent in the smaller, I think it's like a 40 or a 36 and a 42. But these new ones come in a 42, 46, and a 56. So the fact that we can get almost a 60-inch in a budget model is pretty cool. So the problem is with budget models is they're lower BTU, which means like lower heat output. And the issue with that is when we have lower heat output, we get little teeny weeny little flames, and it looks terrible. Doesn't really fill up the box. What I like about Napoleon is even though this isn't a powerhouse heater, the flame looks pretty tall, don't you think, Chris? Yeah. Like, it's got a good looking flame. A couple things do that. One, you can tell that they don't stretch the burner out all the way across the firebox. They sort of shrink that burner a little bit, and I think the sacrifice risk reward is worth it because it enhances those flames and makes them taller. Also, what they do is they give us beveled back corners. So see how those corners come in at more of a sharp 45-degree angle? That helps us in 2 ways. One, the mirror reflective panels which we installed, that creates bigger, more reflection, which also helps enhance the flames. And then also, a side little note is when we taper it like that and we have those tapered corners, it makes for an easier install. So it fits tighter into install. So it really has a lot of advantages to that, but the biggest thing is, of course, the aesthetics. Crushed glass comes standard. The nicer safety barrier comes standard. You actually get the ProFlame 2 handheld thermostatic remote control. That comes standard, so you can control everything from the remote. It comes pre-installed with a blower, which you can control from the remote, and a top nightlight, which our guys haven't put in, but a nightlight that gets installed up in there too. So you have a nightlight, a blower, or a thermostatic remote control, and a decent looking flame in a 56-inch firebox, and guess what? It's under $4,000. So the fact that we can get a fireplace under $4,000 with all these features just doesn't exist. They're like literally one of the only ones doing it. So that's why it's number 5. So if you're on a budget and price is your biggest concern, this is the best fireplace on the market on a budget, easily. That's why it comes in at number 5. Should we move to number 4? Okay, coming in at number 4. It's gonna be the Majestic Echelon series. So this is the Majestic Echelon. I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag on a little secret. So we have Majestic, Heatolator, and Heat and Glow. They're all owned by the parent company called HHT, Hearth and Home Technologies. They all happen to be the same fireplaces. So this is the same firebox as like a Heat and Glow Mezzo, and then the Heatolator Crave, I want to say. So if you're shopping for Heat and Glow Mezzo, that's what this fireplace is. So essentially what they do to differentiate the different brands is they're going to give you different finishes. So like the Heat and Glow can give you, I think a couple more fit and finishes. And it may give you multicolor LEDs, but I'm not sure. So the Majestic is just going to have the clear LED shining up underneath. And again, this is when this is the 60 inch, and we're getting into some real heat here. So 50,000 BTU, so big time heater. And unlike the Napoleon we just showed you, this has straight sides, and that flame literally goes edge to edge. So it fills up the firebox this way, but still creating a tall flame. That's because of that high BTU output. Now, what I do like about Majestic is they have a bunch of cool wall kit options. So if you wanted to mount a TV above it, you certainly can. And then what's really cool is they have called what's a heat out kit. So we can actually dump the heat outside the house. If we don't want all of this heat in the house, that's a nice option too. But one of my favorite things aesthetically about Majestic is the panels in the background, which are an addition. They're actually ceramic glass. So that black reflective that you see back there is actual piece of glass. It's more expensive, but I think it gives you a deeper reflection than porcelain. And it also is easier to clean if it gets spots on it or anything from condensation. Outside of that, it does, like I said, come with the lights, comes with their touchscreen remote control. And I believe they have a Wi-Fi option where you can sync this up to Wi-Fi if you wanted to. And this control affects our flame height. We can put it on a timer. We can adjust our lights, and we can put it in thermostat mode. And then wherever this sits, it's going to read the thermostat. So outside of that, it's been out for a while. They've added like the heat output kits. They've added the Wi-Fi. But it is getting a little long in the tooth. It's been out for quite a while. So, but it's still a great fireplace. That's why it made our top 5. All right, should we get to number 3? Coming in at number 3, Chris, where's my glass of whiskey if I'm gonna be sitting by a fire, right? No whiskey today, it's 100 degrees outside. Okay, so number 3, I was gonna do the category of designer, like luxury type fireplaces. So there's a lot of luxury designer fireplaces out there. So designer fireplaces, so we got 2 layers of glass, which basically avoids a safety screen. So if you don't want a safety screen, you need dual glass type fireplace. What are the pros and cons of these types of fireplaces? The con is, or it could be a pro depending on what you want, is essentially we have almost no heat coming out of here. So these are almost heatless gas fireplaces, which sounds kind of funny, but it's becoming really, really popular, especially new construction homes that are built really tight where they don't need a lot of heat from the fireplace. They're kind of heatless. Another con is they're very expensive, and they usually require very tricky installations and service. So a lot more complex of an install, and you're going to spend a lot more money. But the pro is does anything look better than this in our whole showroom, Chris?
Looks great.
No. So this is an 80-inch unit. You can see it's frameless. We have the double corner, so a lot of times you can choose if you want to open corner or just 3-sided like we have it here, or flat front. And you can even pick the different glass sizes. So you can do 16-inch, 20-inch. This is the 20-inch glass size. So what model is it, and why is it coming at number 3? So this is the Ortal Wilderness Series. Now, when we say the Wilderness Series, see how the fire is actually coming out of the logs? Is the camera picking that up, Chris? So they sort of developed these burners where the burners are actually inside the logs themselves. So the fire comes out of the logs, which actually happens when you're burning a real wood burning fireplace. So 1, I think it looks better. And then 2, these taller fireplaces are becoming really popular. And the fact that we can elevate the flame or get it up in the air in the log really fills up the firebox. So we got 20 inches of glass, but it really fills the firebox. So if you're gonna do a designer fireplace, I personally like the Ortal Wilderness Series because of the way the burners comes out of the logs. I think it's the most attractive of the bunch, and Oral's a great company to work with, and they offer great service for a complex fireplace like this. Of course, if you're going just completely modern crushed glass, you wouldn't want the wilderness burner. You'd want the regular burners, you know, with coming out just super contemporary coming out of the glass. So this is if you're in a designer mode or you want a luxury designer type fireplace, definitely take a look at the Ortal Wilderness series if you like combining, you know, a log set and really filling up that firebox. This is definitely the way to go. All right, should we get to number 2? Coming in at number 2, it's gonna be the Mendota Linear series. If you watch any of my videos, it is no secret that I'm a huge Mendota fanboy. I have 2 Mendotas in my own house. What do we love about Mendota? They are built with the highest quality. They are physically the most heavy units, the thickest steel, most durable, the best warranty, the most amount of fit and finishes, and to me, have the best looking flame in the industry. And you're like, blah, 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 but that's the best. Why is it not number 1? Only reason is price. It's just not built for everybody. It's not in everybody's budget. It is the best in every single category and is also the highest price. So, but you're getting what you pay for when you buy a Mendota. You just are. So they're bulletproof. They work absolutely fantastic. This is what I use in my own home. So why would you buy a Mendota Linear? So this is the 60-inch. Again, the firebox or the glass is a little bit taller, and that's only on the 54, 60, and 72. We have the 72 in my office. We'll show you what that looks like. So we get the taller glass, and then the 47 and 39, we have more of your standard aspect ratio. But they offer a ton of fit and finishes on the frames. We'll go around and give you some B-roll footage around the showroom. You can do a thicker frame, a thinner frame. You can do copper, brushed steel, black, vintage iron. I mean, there's hammered distress fronts. There's 10 different frames that you can put around this thing. So it gives us the most amount of aesthetic options. You can see we have it with the white birch, and what I love about their log sets is they're nice and full and robust. And the flame is big enough that it's not going to drown out the flame. So that's why I love the combination. It does have multicolor LED lights that we can do on the bottom. Also has top night lights that come down on the top. And then of course, we have the fully functional remote control system. Again, we have cool wall options where we can do a cool wall just for a television where we divert the heat out in front of the TV. We can send heat outside. But the biggest characteristic of Mendota is going to be their ability to heat. If you don't want a heating fireplace, I probably wouldn't buy Mendota. It's almost impossible for them not to heat. It just is. They're the biggest powerhouse heaters that we sell. So that's why I have 2 of them in my house. Is the climate we live in Colorado. We do get, I mean, not like the Midwest, but we have cold winters where we need heat. And I'm biased, but I love the heat, the radiant heat from fireplaces. I way rather heat my home with fireplaces than I would furnaces. It's a lot more comfortable. You're heating the rooms that you spend time in. It's more efficient, and everyone loves going and standing by a hot fireplace when it's freezing cold outside. It just makes for a cozier, richer environment in the home. That's why I have these in my house, that's because I heat with them. That's why I have them. Even when you do a cool wall kit, which is what I have at my house, I promise you, they're just pumping heat still. So don't be afraid to put on a cool wall kit and be like, I'm gonna lose all the radiant heat off the fireplace. No, you're not. It's gonna be about half and half. And in fact, that would be the way I'd recommend installing it, is do a cool wall kit, because my arm is burning. Like, it is on fire. So it just takes the edge off a little bit. But these are mega powerhouse heaters. They're made by Johnson Gas, who started out making industrial furnaces. They are the real deal. So if heat is what you're after more than anything, this is probably the fireplace for you. You're just gonna pay for it. It's gonna be expensive. So just be ready for it when you shop for a Mendota. All right, should we get to number 1? Okay, coming in at number 1. Bah! Believe it or not, I think I made this video like 3 years ago. It's the same fireplace as number 1, but it has a brand new big brother that I'm gonna show you, which I'm really excited about. So this is the Napoleon Vector series. I was just telling Chris off camera, This showroom's like 4.5 years old. This particular exact showroom, our company's like 14 years old, but this showroom's only 4.5 years old. We've swapped out almost every single fireplace except this one. And the reason is it's our best seller. Here's why it's number one. It literally checks every box. High BTU, attractive flame, lots of media choices. So multicolor LED lights, handheld remote control, top lighting, comes in a bunch of different sizes. This is a 50-inch, comes in see-through. A lot of cool wall kit options. We can send heat outside. We can send it above a TV. We can send heat, divert it to another room. It literally has almost everything. Well, pretty much everything. And is really reasonably priced. So I'd say it's like the best of both worlds where you're gonna get every feature you want and you're not gonna spend a fortune, and it's a good high quality product. I would say it doesn't heat as good as the Mendota, but nothing does. Literally nothing on the planet heats like a Mendota. So it checks every single box though. That's why it's our best seller. But here's the best part. As cool as this fireplace is, check this out. Look at this big mama. This thing just came out. So remember how I said when we were talking about the Ortles, how the tall glass has become really popular? This is the big brother. This is now the Vector Tall. So we have a 20-some inch, can't remember what it is, 27 inch? Does that sound right, Chris?
I think so.
27 inch tall, so this is 27 by 74. What, are you kidding me? Right now, we just have the crushed glass in here, which I think is not the best way to show this off, but I wanted to show you the contemporary and then the log set. They have come out with big, robust log sets that really fill up this firebox. And I know what you're saying. You're saying with what I was just saying with the Ortle is the fact that with these tall fireboxes, it doesn't really fill up the firebox. I think this one looks good, but here's the best news of all. They have a tall Vector Premium on the way. So what does that mean? The new premium model is gonna have fire in the logs. So it's gonna be more expensive. It's gonna be more of a premium price point, but if you want the fire in the logs, you can do that with the Vector series. So why is that such a big deal? As of right now, the only thing you can get fire in the logs in are gonna be the designer series. So you're gonna be spending $20,000, $30,000. So the fact that we can get this in a regularly priced fireplace is pretty awesome, and I'm very, very excited about that. We'll show you some clips of that as well. I think we have a couple photos from one of the trade shows. But now, this fireplace really does check every single box. It has all the features I just showed you here. We have a 16-inch tall glass option. We have a 27-inch tall glass option. And we also have the ability to do fire in logs. You kidding me? That's why Napoleon's number one. And it's reasonably priced. It's priced in a way where the average homeowner can afford this fireplace. So that's what's so cool. That's why Napoleon's number one. That's why they're the best. They check every single box. They always have for a long time. They've been the best at research and R&D, research and development, developing new products for a long time. I think they're always on the front edge of that. Since COVID, everyone stopped R&Ding and they are just worrying about manufacturing. So it's nice to see R&D back and finally getting some new products, and Napoleon's leading the way in giving us new SKUs, which has been huge because we haven't had anything new to sell since before COVID. So that's why I'm so excited. That's why it's number one. There's my top 5 linears. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section if I'm way off base. We'll see you guys next time. Out.